Celebrate the holidays with your favorite WagerTalk or Sports Memo handicapper for less than $10 a day using coupon code HOHOHO when checking out with a 7-day all-access pass. This gives you immediate access to all of your capper selections, including any $40 5% best bets. There is no limit to the amount of handicappers at WagerTalk and Sports Memo. You can lock in for 7 days, but coupon code HOHOHO will expire at midnight on New Year's Day.
Oh, what perfect timing. I had a sneeze and like it's counting down in my ear, and I'm like, oh God, the sneeze is going to be bad timed. It happens to the best of us. Hello, Teddy Covers. It's WagerTalk Today. How are you, my friend?
So I honestly thought the one show where I think it was like a week or two ago, where you had technical difficulties right before we went on air, and I came on and I absolutely botched the opening. You know, I wasn't prepared for it, and I came in and was like, we have a show. I don't know who. Let's bring in the guest. I thought that would be the worst opening ever, but I think you just topped it, Prez. You did 3, 2, 1, and then a big sneeze to just start the show off. Well done, buddy. Happy one.
I actually think the opening was spectacular, Teddy. And it shows the listeners, the viewers, that I'm human. I sneeze. It's important to have that relativity, you know? Anyway, brother, good show today. No Ralph, guys. Right off the bat, personal reasons, Ralph won't be on the show today. First time ever he's missing a WagerTalk Today show. And he won't be on the NFL presidential address either, but Rob Veno will be on both. So Rob Veno, right off the bat, we're going to talk Florida Atlantic versus Memphis, Hawaii versus Houston, and the Indianapolis Colts versus the Pittsburgh Steelers, which should be a really good game. Top story, lead story, Teddy. BYU last night, that game didn't quite make it to 80. It's going to be a wacky, crazy bowl season, man. Tell us what you're going to be expecting with this insanity known as the COVID bowls.
Sure. And we'll talk about the BYU UCF game a little bit later in the show when I do a little bad beats, bad bets, and bad for the books, and that is going to qualify in multiple categories. A total of 80 in that ball game. But no question, Prez, this is a very unique bowl season. And there's so many reasons why. But the one thing that absolutely stands out this year compared to every other year, normal year, you get 15 practices, 15 additional practices for bowl teams at the end of the regular season. They're rested and ready once the bowls run around. This year, I'm reading reports of teams that had 3 practices. Going to their bowl game. And it's showing, obviously, on the field. The level of preparation isn't there. And the other thing we're seeing, Prez, with all of the opt-outs, and it's not just whole teams that are opting out. Yeah. Players with NFL futures are opting out. Players without NFL futures are opting out. What we're seeing is a group of kids who've been together on campus for a really long time and practicing for a really long time. They're like, I want to go home. I want to see mom and dad. You can't blame them for that. You really can't. But it makes this bowl season very unique compared to years past. And we'll see how it plays out over the course of the next couple of weeks. And, of course, it's condensed as well. By, January 2nd, all the bowl games will be played except for the national championship game. So it's a condensed season. It's going to be a heck of a run the next couple of weeks, Prez. Looking forward to it. What about you?
Yeah, I love bowl season. And I've always done really, really well in bowl season as well. So I'm excited. I'm going to tread carefully, though, just like what you're saying. I mean, South Carolina opted out. We still don't know about other players. You had Chuba opting out at Oklahoma State. And there's every day we're going to hear more. We literally have a Slack channel at WagerTalk, literally just on college games that cancel. So should be fun, should be interesting, but I'm looking forward to the holidays, Teddy. I'm going to binge watch the crap out of the boys. Anyway, let's bring Rob Veno in. You don't want to hear when I talk about shows. That we know as fact. Robert, how are you, my friend?
Prez, I'm good today.
That's
How
me
are
right
you?
here.
Why am I
Don't
so
worry,
left?
Joe will put you in the middle of the screen. Stop moving.
Okay.
I'm doing great, dude. And I know you're normally on Thursdays. Thank you for coming on today. NBA has started. Did you play last night?
I did. I had Golden State and Brooklyn over the number, which fell about 8 points short. So it wasn't the right result as far as I'm concerned. Certainly the pace and everything that you expected to be there was there. Just a poor offensive shooting night for Golden State. But yeah, looking forward to the NBA, Prez. A lot of changes, a lot of work put in to go into this
Yeah.
season, coming off of a big season last year. So definitely looking forward to it.
Yeah, I actually was on the over in Golden State myself, so I've started off 0-1, and it really was the second quarter, Rob.
Right.
That's where we lost that game. Teddy, I don't. What did you have last night, Teddy?
So I had nothing but wrong sides either. I like that over. That
Oh.
was my free play. But the second quarter wasn't the second quarter. Was that the Nets couldn't make a shot, or the Warriors couldn't make a shot. The Warriors offensively looked really, really rough. I don't think it was a quarter that was the difference in that game. It was what the offense didn't work.
43
and I had the
quarter,
Lakers last night, who was dead wrong. Dead wrong. They were wrong from literally at 5-0. Like the Clips came out and hit a shot, then they hit a three, and I'm like, boy, we're in trouble because the Lakers offense wasn't working, and it didn't. They were down 20 at the end of one. But it's not often that in the first quarter I'm like, wow. Not even the first quarter. In the first 2 minutes of a game, I'm not like, yeah, whatever. And the first 2 minutes of that game, I'm like, wow, I'm in trouble. And I was.
Sorry about that. Got a little bit of a cold. Did ride the Peloton today, though. Not that you care, Teddy. Guys, Rob, let's get to it. Florida Atlantic versus Memphis. Memphis -9, total of 51. Tell us how you're attacking this game.
Well, I like the Memphis side. I would like it even stronger if there weren't going to be some elements tonight. It looks like a steady but light rain throughout this contest in Montgomery, Alabama tonight. But the first thing you look for in these games is motivation. And of course, Memphis as a near double-digit favorite, that was my first concern. And what I found was quotes from Memphis where they're excited to play this game. And interesting enough, guys, as you talked about teams being together for so long with coronavirus, their head coach Ryan Silverfield said if they had gotten an invitation to a bowl game after Christmas, closer to New Year's, the team would not have accepted. But because it was pre-Christmas, the team voted unanimously to play. Teddy, if I can give you a quote here, because I know you like quotes, but Silverfield said, I think most of our guys are pretty darn excited and they want to play this game, especially now that our sights have been set. They've had a lot of practice time to get ready for this opponent. They knew well before Sunday when the rest of the bowls were announced. I think for Florida Atlantic, this is kind of a fade based on what I saw in their last game against Southern Miss. Southern Miss, a team that has been a complete disaster all season long, 3 head coaches, the entire gamut. They come out and they gain 330 total yards in the first half. That was more yardage, total yardage, than Florida Atlantic had been giving up per game all season long. They end up with 514, 45 points. They gained 6.4 yards per carry on the ground. And it made me look at Florida Atlantic and all these fancy defensive stats that they had built up during the season. And you come to find out that they didn't play a top 50 offense all year long. The best offense they played, guys, as far as statistical rankings, total yardage per game is concerned, was Texas San Antonio. After that, it's a bunch of nobodies. San Antonio followed by Marshall, who hasn't been good offensively either. So I think that Memphis's offensive explosiveness probably works here. I think that this Florida Atlantic defense a little more of a mirage than reality. They haven't seen anything like what they're going to find here in Memphis. And one more thing, I feel like just like yesterday with Zach Wilson of BYU, this becomes a showcase game for Brady White, the quarterback of Memphis. Spotlight's on him. Certainly draft positioning is at stake for him in this game. If people consider FAU a good defense and he does well, that's going to rise his draft stock. Memphis defensively should be able to handle Florida Atlantic. Everybody else has. Willie Taggart's offense just hasn't stuck yet this year. Maybe next season it'll be different. So for me, I like Memphis minus the 8.5, 9. I think it should be fairly easy.
So I want to ask you, Rob, do the normal rules apply this bowl season where you're looking for quarterbacks you want to put your money on, defenses you want to put your money on, teams that are motivated, avoid the double-digit favorites unless they're coming to play? I mean, when you think about the bowl mantras that we use, early bowl games, look at the dogs and the over. Are these rules still in play this year, or is this such a unique bowl season that it's just handicap every game individually, don't worry about any broader pictures?
In my case, they still exist to some extent, Teddy. Certainly not as written in stone as they have been in the past, because there's ulterior things to consider here in each and every game. But I do think, just like yesterday, the game between Nevada and Tulane, the better quarterback getting points was Carson Strong. Nevada wins big. Here we have the far better quarterback in the Memphis game with Brady White against Nick Tronte or Javion Posey. Obviously, you're a favorite in this game. It's a little bit different. But yeah, I would say to an extent, those rules for me as a handicapper still exist.
He's Rob Veno, everybody. I love having you here, Rob. We got a great promo for you. Your NBA, man, I want you to tell us about it. But last year it was spectacular. Probably the best return on investment of 2020 at 2019. I mean, close to 150% return on investment. We got an early bird special for your NBA. $499, man. The entire NBA season. Same thing for Hakeem Prophet, and everybody knows how good he is. Two of you guys led the way. Congratulations. I hope you can do it again this year. But guys, head over to WagerTalk. Take advantage of the NBA early bird special. No coupon code required at all. Regular price $8.99, $4.99 for Rob Veno's entire NBA season. And Rob, tell us what makes you so good in that sport.
Just a quick adjustment last year, Prez to release later. I think you find that in the NBA, knowing who's going to be on the floor is so crucial, and it seems to get later and later every year before you really know. So, stuff that I saw early that was going to be a given, I could play, but other stuff with question marks next to it, I would wait. I mean, I would wait up until 2 hours before tip, 90 minutes before tip, before I released. And it just, the success came with that. So I'm following the same strategy this year, especially, of course, with the coronavirus issues. We have followed that as handicappers in every other sport to date. No reason not to follow the later release rule with NBA basketball this year.
Yeah, and I think it's going to be important this year. I mean, load management's been a thing in the last couple of years, but now with teams like the Lakers and the Clippers and the Nuggets and these teams that went somewhat deeper than others, but short little off season. So yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Let's get to the next bowl game, Hawaii versus Houston. And I know you like the over here. You're going to talk about that, and it makes a lot of sense to me. I mean, this Houston team can score, and Hawaii has shown they can do the same. Fill us in.
Yeah, I would have played this even stronger, Prez, had Marquez Stevenson, the leading wide receiver for Houston, not opted out. But there is a quartet of guys behind him, and they have played without him this season for a few games. But there's 4 guys behind him that have a combined 16 catches for 20-plus yards. So the explosiveness still exists in the Houston offense, just would have been a lot stronger if Stevenson hadn't chosen to go prep for the NFL draft. I've got a rule with Dana Holgorsen as a head coach, and my general rule is if there's a defense that he can run against, then the game's going to go over. When Dana Holgorsen's allowed to run with that air raid offense that he directs, Houston just becomes so balanced and so explosive and so difficult to stop. And Hawaii offers them that opportunity. 115th versus the run in the NCAA this year, giving up almost 5.5 yards per carry. So that's going to be difficult for Hawaii to stop both ends of this Houston offense. They haven't run it well, but they haven't played a lot of miserable run defenses either. So I think there's a strong opportunity for Houston to go ahead and get the run and pass balance and score points here against Hawaii. For the Hawaii side, you're going to need help too. And I think with Chevin Cordero to start off with, Houston has not had the best of luck with dual threat quarterbacks. And they have not had the best of luck leading up to this game with defensive starters actually being on the field for this game. They're going to be missing their number one sack leader, defensive end Peyton Turner. They're going to be missing their number one tackler overall, linebacker Grant Stewart. And they're going to be missing another starting linebacker who chose yesterday to hit the transfer portal, which I don't know if anybody else can fit inside that transfer portal. It's so loaded. Houston also could have, according to one of their beat writers for the Houston Chronicle, they could have an excess of a few more defensive absences because of coronavirus for that game. So Hawaii's got a huge opportunity here. Todd Graham, a guy who runs a run-oriented spread offense, kind of a chameleon. If he thinks he can run against you, he'll run. If he thinks he can pass against you, he'll pass. Obviously, Cordero can do both. I think Hawaii will have success here. The weather's going to be good in Frisco, Texas. I'll tell you what, guys, this was the strangest game because I had to check myself a couple of times during my handicapping. When you see Hawaii on Christmas Eve, you automatically think it's the Hawaii Bowl.
Yep.
Of course, their stadium being shut down in this game they're now playing the New Mexico Bowl in Frisco, Texas. Kind of a strange setting, but I like over 59 here, or 59.5.
So my only concern about that is on the Houston Cougars side. Is Houston going to show up for this game? Because I've gotten, the quotes from Hawaii have been positive. The quotes from Houston, I've been looking for them, and I haven't seen them.
All right, I'll help you there because I did see one from Dana Holgerson who said, we are just thankful to be playing in another game. The guys are excited. We're ready to go. So, I took that as a positive from them. Didn't seem to be anything negative coming from the Houston side. So it is interesting, Teddy, like that game before that I talked about, that kids will want to play before Christmas, but after Christmas, some of these mid-majors and whatnot just want to get home for the holiday between Christmas and New Year, and they'd rather not play.
I got a question to both of you guys. I didn't grow up watching college football. They didn't have it on television in Canada at all. Even now, we can really only get maybe 4 or 5 games on a Saturday. Obviously, now I have streaming services and I'm like completely engulfed in it. But I always used to hear, Texas A&M, they missed out on the championship game. They're not going to care about their bowl game as much as the team who is playing against them. Does Memphis want to play? This team is pissed off. Therefore, they're not going to take it seriously. That's something I heard when I came into this industry a ton. Teddy, I don't know if that's so true anymore. Do you find that? To me, it's like you go to a bowl game, you do your best. Do you find that still exists?
Yes.
So you buy into that?
Yes. They're a team,
okay.
Particularly when you see it happens all the time in bowl season, that a big favorite against a team that they don't get excited for, they don't get up for, and they don't show up, and they lose the game outright. Happens every year in bowl season, happened this year in bowl season. Rob, agree?
I agree, and usually it happens with a Power 5 that's a double-digit favorite. I think we saw it with Utah a couple of years ago. I think we saw it with Georgia. We may see it again with Georgia, Cincinnati this year. That might be one to look out for. But yeah, I do agree in those situations that it does happen. It happens at least once every year.
Excellent stuff. Rob Veno, everybody. NBA machine, number one NBA handicapper across the board. Sports Memo, WagerTalk anywhere in the world last season. He'll do it again this season. You can get a full season package for $499 early bird special. Ralph, Indianapolis, a -2.5 against Pittsburgh. Ralph, okay, bugger off all you people. Indianapolis -2.5 versus Pittsburgh, over 44.5 is the total. And man, look, Indy's got to be like, damn, man, we're going to get an angry Pittsburgh. On the other hand, they got to be like, damn, man, we're getting a shit Pittsburgh. No, they just can't get their running game going. Ben probably had the worst game of his life last week, especially in that first half. Indianapolis is clicking. I'm really curious where you're going in this game, Robin. It's obviously a game we're going to talk about on the NFL presidential address, 4 p.m. Eastern. So give us a highlight of what's going to happen in this game and what is going to happen on our show at 4 p.m.
Yeah, I'll be excited to make my debut on your show, Presidential Address, Prez. Listen, I'm probably in the minority here, but I like this game over 44.5. I think there's a little bit of value as far as the Pittsburgh running game is concerned. It does look like James Conner will be back this week, and I think that makes a difference in the Pittsburgh offense for sure. They've been coming at us the last 3 weeks with this 45 short passes a game. Ben doesn't really go on top. All this underneath stuff where teams are just playing an umbrella type zone and making tackles at the point of the catch hasn't really worked. But I think with Connor coming back, the offensive line is still good. I think that'll make a difference in the Pittsburgh offense. And Indianapolis's defense the last 4 weeks has somewhat crumbled. So the weather's good there for Pittsburgh conditions on Sunday, mid to high 30s for that game. So I don't see any reason why Pittsburgh, with the return of Connor, wouldn't at least progress offensively in this contest. I think an even better matchup on the other side of the football. You talked, Prez, about how Indianapolis is clicking. What they do so well with Phillip Rivers is they can go short to intermediate with accuracy, run after catch, that type of thing. And boy, Pittsburgh's vulnerable in that second layer of defense right now. The linebacking core has been decimated. It's been much talked about, but when you don't have Devin Bush, when you don't have Bud Dupree, when you don't have Robert Spillane, and we saw Cincinnati take advantage of it Monday night. Phillip Rivers could have a big passing day here. And when you look at their offensive line, arguably one of the three best in the NFL, it could negate some of the Pittsburgh pressure. And it should open up some holes for Jonathan Taylor, who's been running real well. So to me, both offenses have advantages in this game. And I just feel like 44.5, a number where they allow a 24 to 21 game cashier ticket. I think I'll take my chances with that side here. Pittsburgh, Indianapolis over 44.5.
And it's surely worth noting that when we argued with you about a total last week, Robin, I got called out on it on Twitter. And the answer was, don't mess with Veno's totals. I'm not going to mess with the total right here, even though this one to me, I mean, like I'm looking like I can't bet Pittsburgh over right now. The offense is broken. But I will not question your judgment. It's proven to be extremely strong with totals like this
one. Well said, Teddy. I like that over, Rob. It's actually on my short list. So I agree 100%. I'll give my take later on today, 4 p.m. Eastern, the NFL presidential address. Yes, Teddy, that's 4 plugs for that show. Rob Veno, we can't thank you enough, brother. I would say, do you have anything to promote? But I think I've done the promoting for you. As one of the guys in the chat room says, Robert Rainey, Prez is the best fluffer in the handicapping industry. I'll take it, baby. Rob, get out of here. We got Arthur DiCesare coming up. Teddy's big game breakdown. Teddy's bad beats. No Ralph today. We'll be right back in, 20 seconds. Thanks, Rob.
The NBA is back. Preseason starts this Friday, December 11th. The regular season tips off on Tuesday, December 22nd, and our top 2 NBA cappers have an unheard of special. Both Hakeem Prophet and Rob Veno have agreed to this huge discount. Hakeem Prophet exploded onto the NBA scene in his first year here at WagerTalk. Rob Veno was dominating, picking up 168% profit by hitting 60% on 305 plays. Listen to this deal. Our NBA early bird price was $6.99. The NBA season ticket price was $8.99. But for the next 7 days, get Hakeem and Rob for only $4.99 each. No coupon needed. Just go to their homepage, click on which capper you want for the NBA season, or even click on both. Each only $4.99.
It's time for Bad Beats, Bad Bets, and Bad for the Books. A little recap of what happened in the betting world last night. And I don't know if this truly qualifies as a bad beat, but we should talk the UCF BYU total. The wise guys bet the crap out of UCF before kickoff. That was wrong, obviously. And once again, I got BYU wrong in the big game breakdown yesterday. One solace in bowl games. When you get a team wrong, at least you won't get them wrong again that year because it's the last time they're going to play. So I'm not going to get BYU wrong again this year. And, of course, that total got bet all the way up. Opened as low as 66.5 at Circa here in Vegas, 71 at the Westgate. Circa opens first. They took over money. The Westgate opened 71. That closed as high as 81 yesterday. 7 touchdowns, no field goals for BYU. Still didn't get there. And then they got stopped on downs. And then they needed one more score to cash most of those overbetters. What'd they do? They got to the inside the 5-yard line, 1st and goal, and they took a knee, an 8-minute drive to close out the game. That was a tough beat if you had the over. And then again, if you're betting bad numbers and betting the over 81, it's hard to win. If you're betting getting the worst of it, we'll call it a tough beat. It was what it was. When it comes to bad bets last night, well, I don't even know if this was a bad bet. The Lakers and the Clippers, there was under money, a bunch of under money. The Clips' defensive intensity was palpable from the opening tip. 2 minutes in, I talked about earlier, the Lakers were in trouble. But hot Clippers shooting and a fast pace, it snuck over at the end. All that under money lost. Bad bet. College hoops, couple of games switched favorites. We had Cincinnati. Let's see, they opened as the dog. They closed as the chalk. And they lost by 5 at UCF. North Carolina opened a dog at NC State, closed 2.5-point favorites. They lost by 3. Both of those bad bets, Cincy and North Carolina. Bad for books. Well, certainly the early bowl game yesterday, the Tulane-Nevada game, the Green Wave, they went from -3 to pick 'em in the 48 hours before kickoff. Bettors got it right. All Wolfpack money, and the Wolfpack cashed with room to spare. That wasn't good for the house. The Nets took a bunch of money last night, -5.5 up to 7.5 against the Warriors. That was one game where, boy, my power ratings on both teams. I had to make a serious adjustment after game 1. That's a rare type of move for me, but certainly the markets got it right. The Nets, a whole lot better than the Warriors last night. That wasn't a good result for the house. And, of course, the total in that game steamed from 228 to 235. Golden State only got to 99. That wasn't the sharpest move. I was on it, too. In college hoops, Louisville opened +1/-1. They closed -6, and they won by 10. That was a disaster game for the books. And the Okies, Oklahoma, Texas Tech total. How about this? For a little middle, opened 135, closed 137. You know where it landed? 136, right in the middle, whether you bet the over or the under. You were able to cash tickets on the Oklahoma, Texas Tech total last night. That, not a great result for the house either. There you have it. Bad beats, bad bets, bad for the books. Now let's get some Arthur DiCesare here on WagerTalk Today.
Great stuff, Teddy. Welcome everybody to the show. Johnny, Robert, focus on your bets. Jacob, Ashley, Teddy. One of the guys says, Matt Arch. With the pandemic going on, I have had more conversations with Teddy than I do with my friends in real life. Wouldn't have it any other way. You and Matt chatting, like, you know this guy?
I don't know. We're all shut-ins, dude. You know, this is our communication sphere. You know, I leave the house like twice a week. You know, I communicate with you. I communicate with the audience. That's just how it is right now. Hopefully, it won't last.
Okay, well, Matt, Teddy just said you can move into his house. Teddy address. It's 62 Sunderland Drive, Henderson, right?
I don't live in. I've never lived in Henderson. I've always lived in Vegas.
He's lying, everybody. That's his address. 62 Sunderland Drive, Henderson. Don't listen to him. Visit him. Go hang out with him. Do we have an Arthur DiCesare going on yet? Oh my God, he's shaved. Dude, oh my God. You look so much better. Oh my God. Like, and I'm not implying that you didn't look good. I mean, you were like Brad Pitt with a beard, and now you are Rob Lowe without one, dude. Oh my, Arthur DiCesare. What a privilege. You've just taken 10 years off of your life and maybe 5 off of mine. Wow. Welcome to Wager Talk Today, dude. How are you? How have you been?
Oh, I'm doing good. Yeah, this shaving of the beard, it's a Festivus miracle. So, you know, I figured I'd do a little something for the holidays, you know?
So, but the thing is that I mean, it's been cold in Vegas. You know, it hasn't been one of these like, oh, it's super warm. Like I know that my beard looks awful. I'm well aware that I look way better when I'm shaved than I'm not. But for about 3 months every winter, I'm like, screw it. It's just too cold. But you shave in the middle of winter?
Yeah, the beard was getting gross, man. It was getting a little straggly. It was time. I had one of those. I just felt it. Let's do this.
Guys, like, with no disrespect, people watching the show, listening, these two schmoes live in Vegas, and they're talking about shaving a beard in winter. Like, is this some kind of joke? Like, Oh my God,
Stop.
dude, it's minus 12 degrees. I'm freezing my nudgies off.
Celsius.
Yeah.
It's not even real.
Dude, I don't even manscape in winter. Yes.
I'll just say this. Vegas is not Miami Beach. It's not LA. In the winter, it gets cold. It doesn't get northern Michigan cold. It doesn't get Ontario cold.
Oh my God.
It sure hell isn't like 60s and 70s and sunny. It's cold, and when the wind whips, it's in the 20s here. It's freaking freezing.
Okay, let's get into some actionable info. Arthur, in all seriousness, you look outstanding. And when you grow it back, I'm going to bother you because you literally look a lot better without the beard and younger and healthier. Okay, Teddy, get some actionable info out of this man.
Arthur DiCesare, of course, racing sports supervisor over the LINQ sportsbook right here on the Las Vegas Strip. Let's talk. Where do you want to go? Let's talk bowls first. All right. We've got bowls today, tomorrow, Christmas Day. What are we seeing in terms of early bowl action? Any real line movers? The wise guys showing their hands on any of these bowl games yet?
Yeah, Teddy, you got to talk about the bowl today. You know, obviously there's two, but the first bowl, the New Orleans Bowl, Georgia Southern opened -4. It's now -7. We've seen nothing but Georgia Southern money. So we're definitely going to be rooting for Louisiana Tech today. So yeah, that's one that you can definitely look at right now. You know, the second bowl today, you know, not that much, but we're definitely going to be sweating Louisiana or, you know, Georgia Southern today. So we're rooting for Louisiana Tech.
There, actionable info. The book's rooting for the Bulldogs. And Skip Holtz obviously has a pretty good bowl track record. I know he's won, I think, his last 5. He's covered his last 5. The last 3 all as underdogs. So you have that working in your favor. What about the later bowl games? Let's talk about the 2 semifinal games. What kind of action are we seeing when it comes to Clemson, Ohio State, and Alabama, Notre Dame? Early action, which means, you know, there's a little bit of public money, but right now, anything you're going to see is largely sharp money.
Yeah, I mean, Teddy, as far as those games go, obviously, first game, let's talk Notre Dame, Alabama. Right now, we got Bama sitting -20, basically open 19.5. So, you know, we've seen Bama money come in. The Clemson-Ohio State game sitting at Clemson -8 right now. It's kind of bounced around a little bit. It was 8.5. There was a 7.5. Sitting at 8 right now. Right now, people are just buying in on the favorites. They're going to keep buying in on the favorites. You know, right now, as far as public go, I mean, listen, Notre Dame's always going to get money because it's Notre Dame, but it's just tough to go against Bama. I'm going to be interested to see if that Bama number gets to 21 because obviously that's a key number. So be interesting to see what happens with that game. Obviously, the Clemson-Ohio State game is a better game. I could see people buying back in on Ohio State eventually, but, you know, obviously we're a couple weeks away from that.
Arthur DiCesare, everyone, sports book director at the LINQ. And guys, I want to show you because Arthur, you shaved. That was me this weekend. Somebody said I should grow Jerry Garcia beard. I grew that, and I couldn't get any action from my woman, like none. Like I had to come off. Anyway, let's talk some NBA real quick, and then we'll go to some NFL. Huge card today. We've had some line moves, man. Cleveland went from -1, 2.5 to Charlotte. We've got some other line, the Milwaukee-Boston game. What are you hearing? What type of action? Any game that stands out to you that our listeners should bet?
You know, Prez, I first of all, I think it's great that the NBA is back. It's awesome. You know, just throw another something into the mix here, another log on the fire, as you would say. But yeah, that the one that you mentioned right off the top, Cleveland's going to be terrible. I know Charlotte's not going to be that good, but Cleveland's going to be one of the, you know, 1 or 2 worst teams in the league. So I understand that move. I personally, for me, I'm one of those who I believe in Memphis this year. So I like the Grizzlies -2 against the Spurs. There really hasn't been a lot of line move on that. I think I saw Grizzlies -2.5 last night at one point, but it's Grizzlies -2 right now. I'm a big fan of John Morant, and I think the Spurs are going to really step back this year. I don't think they're going to be that good. They're probably going to be sellers at some point. So I like Memphis. Memphis is a team I'm keeping my eye on.
For what it's worth, I've got a betting ticket on Memphis in my pocket. I've advised my clients to make that same bet. So there's a service play for you, and Arthur likes it too. There's actionable information for you at -2 with the Grizzlies. Let's talk NFL. Obviously, a loaded card, week 16, and we've got games all weekend. Do you like it when the games are spread out like that? Does it provide more action for the books? Or would you rather just have a week 17 where everything's played on Sunday?
Yeah, you know what, Teddy? It's one of those where you could look at it either way. I personally like late in the season when it gets spread out. I think it's awesome that we have a Christmas Day game. We have 3 Saturday games. Obviously, Sundays, we all live and die on Sundays. We love our Sundays. And then we have a Monday night game. So getting 4 straight days of NFL is really fun. You get some standalone games. Christmas Day is a standalone game. I guess you could treat the Saturday games as, their own standalone games. But I think it's fun when it's spread out like that.
Arthur DiCesare, you are the man, dude. We love having you on. And again, we're going to go get some great info from you. Let's focus on Fridays and Saturdays games. Anything you're hearing, any smart money coming in that we should know about? Any bets, totals, or sides? I know we've seen Arizona move a lot to 5. Tampa Bay has moved largely because of the teasers. And then the mini New Orleans game, it's just staying rock solid and not budging off of 7. Give us something to bet.
Absolutely. I would say on Saturday, you talked about it, Prez. I think, Arizona, listen, the Niners, their season's been over, but the Niners are so banged up. They have so many injuries, running back, quarterback. And, Arizona should probably take care of business. They're still in the playoff hunt. They still need the game. So I understand that move. Obviously, a game that is very, important to us because it's local. The Raiders are dead in the water. The Dolphins open -2.5. They're now 3. And their coach Flores came out and said, hey, this is a playoff game. We're treating it as a playoff game. So I can understand people coming in. They're going to bet the Dolphins, understand that the Raiders are done. And I think the Sunday night game is very interesting. Green Bay opened -4.5. It's now -3. They're playing Tennessee, both 10-win teams, both really good teams. That's going to be Sharp versus Public. Green Bay always gets public money. Sharps jumped on the Titans. So that's an interesting game and a really good Sunday night game.
Yeah, and in theory, the wise guys are betting the Titans' ability to run the football against the Packers defense that at times in recent years has really struggled against that type of running attack. Just a few minutes left here with Arthur DiCesare from the LINQ Sportsbook here, right here on the Las Vegas Strip. Anything else stand out to you for this Sunday's NFL card besides all that sharp money coming in on Tennessee? More actionable info for our viewers.
Sure, absolutely, Teddy. Another game that I wrote down is a big game, a divisional game. You got the Rams and you got the Seahawks. Listen, the Rams are coming off, outside of the Steelers, one of the worst losses of the season. We opened Seattle -3. It's now Seattle -1.5. So people bought in on the Rams. They don't mind what they saw last week. And they just say, hey, sometimes in the NFL, you got to almost throw out what you saw the week before, because every week this league changes. And every week you almost have to just treat it as a 1-week season where you just say, hey, I don't care that they lost to the Jets. They'll come to play. McVay will have them to play. And they already beat Seattle this year. So that number's moved 1.5. So that's an interesting divisional game to keep your eye on as well.
Unbelievable stuff. We love having you on, Arthur. Make sure to hit the like button, would you? 512 of you guys in the chat room. Only 88 likes. Hit that like button for us, guys. Arthur, have an incredible holiday, man. I hope you enjoy it. I hope it's the pace the way you want it to be. I hope you feel the love around you. Happy holidays. Happy Merry Christmas, Kwanzaa, Hanukkah. Have it all, dude. You deserve it. Thanks for your time this year on WagerTalk Today, and we're still going to see you next week. Thanks for being here, man.
Anytime, gentlemen. Happy holidays. A lot of blessings to you guys.
Anything quick to promote?
As I always say, listen, the LINQ. I say, obviously, listen, I work there. I love my place. I think we have one of the best places to watch any game. Fan caves. It's just a lot of fun down there. Real fun atmosphere. So, come down, check out. I've had a lot of people come by who say they watch Wager Talk, which always is, like I said, it's a credit to you guys and everything you're building over there. So listen, guys, come down, say hi. Fan caves. We got it all working with the NBA, college, NBA, NFL, bowl season. So a lot of fun down at the LINQ.
Yeah, and once COVID ends, we're going to have a party at the LINQ, so stay tuned for that. Arthur, thank you again. Guys asking about our NBA show. We do have an NBA show. It starts January 4th. The great and incredibly sexy Joe Ranieri will be hosting that show. Get out of here, Arthur. Quick break. Teddy's Big Game Breakdown.
WagerTalk Today hosts Teddy Covers and the Prez are the perfect odd couple. And since you can't have one without the other, we decided to turn it into a promotion. So if you buy a 7-day all-access pass from one, you will get a 7-day all-access pass from the other one for free. This is a limited time promotion, and due to the deep discount, no wager bucks or coupons can be applied.
It's time for tonight's big game breakdown. Let's talk about the late game on ESPN and NBA action. The Suns and the Mavs. This one's going to be a lot of fun. That said, I got betting opinions here. I lean to Phoenix. Basically, get them at a pick 'em price, -1 at some books. I lean to the under. Let's talk about why I lean to the under. All right, because this doesn't feel like an under game, does it? Well, here's the quote from Mavericks guard Josh Richardson. Quote, I feel like if we can just slow them down in transition, kind of make it a half-court game for them and get physical and make their buckets tough, I think we give ourselves a better chance than if we just try to track meet the whole game. That's not a coaching staff quote. That's a player quote. When the player's like, we want to slow them down. We want to make it a half-court game. We don't want it to be a track meet. Yeah, you start to look at unders in games like that. And certainly when the total opens 237, you definitely start to look at unders in games like that. Let me say, why do we like the side here for Phoenix? Why are we leaning in that direction? Well, let's start with the fact that the Suns won every game in the bubble. Then they went winless in 4 preseason games. All right. This is a team that hasn't played well of late, that played extremely well down the stretch last year. Okay. So we know they have it in them. But the preseason, there were a bunch of guys that didn't play. The roster wasn't available, et cetera, et cetera. All right. Here's a quote from Devin Booker after Tuesday's practice. Quote, we can't use still trying to figure this out as a group excuse anymore. Games are live. These games count. There's time to go. There's an excitement in the gym. You can feel that people are excited to see how the first game goes. I feel like we're ready. We put in the work, and we're going to get the season rolling. All right. Then you look at the other side of the equation. All right. Here's a Dallas team that has Luka and like 4 wings right now. No Porzingis. It's really going to be small ball for the Mavs. And Luka's incredible. You know, the guy averaged, 29 points and 9 rebounds, 9 assists, and led the team to the playoffs last year. But Suns bring in a defensive stopper. Okay, and I don't know if Jay Crowder is going to be on Luka in this ballgame. He might. Crowder plays anybody anytime. Quote, he's the head of the snake. You have to take care of him. You have to make the ball. He's going to have the ball in his hands the majority of the game. We've just got to throw a different amount of coverage at him, a lot of different bodies at him, make him uncomfortable, try to break his rhythm. That's the kind of quote that says this Mavs team that I'm not convinced they're going to be as good as they will be down the stretch right out of the get-go. I think Phoenix is the better squad on day one. And you certainly understand all the under money that's coming for this one. There you have it. Big game breakdown. Lean Suns, lean under on the opening night of NBA on ESPN. Back to you, Prez.
Some stuff, Teddy. Thanks for that. Everybody in the chat room loved your thoughts on that game. Guys, that's the show today. We have one more this week. Tomorrow, no show on Friday. Teddy, outstanding job. Great job by Rob Veno and Art DiCesare. Guys, 4 p.m. Eastern today, the NFL presidential address. Me, Rob Veno, and Matt Joseph. Teddy's jealous I didn't invite him to be on it. I'm in play. I got a game going I got a bet going on the New Orleans Bowl that starts at 3 p.m. Eastern. So if you want to continue playing me, I'm on an absolute monster run in football. Head over to WagerTalk and grab it. Teddy, I love you, man. Take us home.
Sure. So for the Prez promo show, you promoted the show
Tell
like
him about
6
the
times.
NFL.
Your hot streak. And I'm hotter than you, bro. It's not even close, brah. Anyhow,
Brah,
that
brah.
being said, thanks for watching. Enjoy the game. We'll be back again tomorrow, doing it again right here on Wager Talk Today on Christmas Eve. Between now and then, enjoy the games. Good luck.
Merry Christmas and happy holidays from all of us at Wager Talk, Sports Memo, and The Gold Sheet. The Gold Sheet is now in its second season under the Wager Talk Media umbrella, and we have a special holiday gift for all. The iconic Gold Sheet set the standard as the first major football newsletter back in 1957 and is now resetting the standard for a basketball newsletter. Join us at goldsheet.com this Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for 3 free days of basketball. No special codes needed. Just go to goldsheet.com and experience the new and always improving Gold Sheet basketball newsletter.